You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, welcome everybody. You are watching the Comic Book Beardies, the Geek Chat. I'm Rich.
I'm Desmond.
And we are with you for our little comic book chattiness. We're going to be going over some brand new number ones from this week. I want to say thank you for joining us on the Experience. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Be sure to go to Facebook and like the Geek Chat and Comic Book Beardies. And while you're at it, head to comicshoppingexperience.com to see everything experience-wise. So,
yes,
how you doing?
I feel good. I feel like Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, with this headphones on, but I'm trying something different this time. So we'll see how it works.
You have a little Janet Jackson microphone.
I'm like, control. Sorry, that's Beyonce, but you know.
That's okay, you know.
Now I'm all grown up.
I just watched her one of her 2023 live clips. She did Control, and I watched If. She still got it. She lip syncs a little, but she still got it.
I don't like the hello Daniel. I don't like the medleys. Like sing the whole song, damn it.
Oh yeah, she did. She did like
not a fan.
The guitar riff of Black Cat.
Yeah, I'm like
just saying Black Hat, and that was it. Hey, Daniel, welcome in.
Yeah, I'm like, bleh. So, but yeah. So for our first topic, we're gonna be talking about. Rich finally got to see the Blue Beetle movie,
I did.
And it was hilarious because we were I was sitting there, on the couch watching TV, and I get this text from him, and he's like, "Whew, watching Blue Beetle, is it worth getting through?" And I'm like, "Dude, yes, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. He is literally the Mexican Iron Man. Keep going. It's great. It's great."
Yeah.
Thank you. So, worth it just for Grandma.
Yeah,
the experience is correct. And seeing the Blue Beetle buggy machine. Hey Kenneth, welcome in. But seeing the Blue Beetle bug flying around and like the wholesale slaughter when he's stomping on people, it was fun. It was
a fun movie, I gotta say. It really was. A little too long for me. A little too long. It's sad that it got the hate that it did because it is the last of the DC EU films. Just like Aquaman is the last film now before James Gunn starts back up.
Yeah.
I feel like he would be a good inclusion into James Gunn's new universe.
Right? I thought he was I thought he was a great actor. I thought he really played the part well. And I really liked when he like had the mask half off. I don't know, something about him in that movie, he looked the part,
Yeah, he did. So a couple complaints I had though. The movie unfortunately had a Marvel villain problem. It was the same kind of idea that Marvel has been doing with their movies. Hey, Paul, for the last 10 years, it's just let's kill the villain. So
I was fine with that. I was fine with that.
I'm not, because it just was just like the Marvels, let's kill the villain. It's just both studios really need to come up with a different way to end their villain problems.
Hey, mad respect. Welcome in.
Hey man. Yep.
And I agree, but I think the reason why I liked this one, excuse me, is because of how he was brought in. You know,
Carapace
yeah.
or the Lady Cord.
Oh no! I totally thought the Lady Queen Susan Sarandon's character totally was like she was a means to an end,
Yeah.
to get to where they needed to go. I like the whole thing about the OMAC project
Oh my God,
and,
yes.
and using it and using Beetle technology in order to get the OMAC project.
Yeah.
Totally there for that. I liked um I even like George Lopez because sometimes George Lopez can come off really, really excuse me. He come off
Rating.
really, yeah, he can, and I'm just kind of like, "Ooh," but he actually acted in this movie, and when he actually acts, he's a good actor,
Yeah.
and I really like that he was this sort of like cut rate Iron Man, but he was just as smart. One thing that I was pissed off though at the end is I really wish that they would have given him a job at Cord Industries.
Right.
I think that would have been really, really cool. But I really
So
want to see how they're going to introduce him because you don't set up an ending like that just to have it fall short.
right. So the experience says that James Gunn has said that the person playing Jaime
Xylo.
will be part of the DCU. You know, it's too bad that the movie won't be canon because all it is an origin story. You don't need another origin story
You
for
really
him
don't.
now.
You really don't.
Like we don't need one for Fantastic Four. We don't need one for X-Men. We really don't need any more origin stories for properties that have already been out. And I hope
I agree.
we don't get another one.
Yeah, I don't need another one. I really hope that he just kind of shows up and is doing his thing.
Yeah.
Because I think what's going to happen is they're just going to I think it's going to be a backdoor kind of thing, meaning the next movie that he's going to be in,
He'll just
they'll
show
make
up.
yeah, he'll just show up and they'll make like little small hints to the first movie, but not directly mention it and or canonize it.
Paul
So
said George Lopez does Lopez really well.
yep,
Kind of like Will Smith plays Will Smith in all
in
his movies.
every movie
He's
he
just
plays
Will Smith. Yeah.
But again, I thought the movie was great in what it offered. Um, an experience says I don't know. I could watch Ben Parker
Die.
30 or 40 more times. I mean, yeah, I guess I can see that.
Well, we're gonna get to see Ben Parker alive and de-aged in the Spider-Woman movie. What's it called?
Madam Web.
Madam Web. Yes.
Yeah. Daniel Aslan says I think Gunn will give him a small role in Peacemaker season 2. I don't think so. The only reason why I say that is because I think that what Gunn's gonna do is Gunn's gonna
Did you
show.
just say Tim Gunn?
I did say Tim Gunn. He's gonna make it work. No, I think that what's gonna happen is you're gonna see a ton of superheroes in Superman. I really believe that. I really believe that you're gonna
Well, we're gonna
get
see the Authority.
no, but but I think you're gonna see a lot of. I think what James Gunn is going to do is he's going to establish the hero community within Superman and have Superman be this sort of like kind of like sideways, not sideways, sort of like side character, and Superman is going to be the outsider in this much larger superhero community.
You think?
And and we're going to see a bunch of different heroes in the background kind of like coming together to oppose Superman in what he's trying to do. And I think that's where we're going to see a Jaime again. That's for me what I think.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a lot of different people because it's going to be like a small it's going to be like a small, like sort of Avengers Assemble, and so Superman's arc is going to be winning the trust of the other superheroes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really hope that Vigilante comes back in Peacemaker though, because I really love that Vigilante character.
Yeah, and Daniel Aslan, also comments. I also think Gunn is going to do Authority as a big bad, leading to basically them as the elite and going and doing action number 775 roughly
Oh,
in a trilogy or long
that would
goal.
be
Yeah,
cool.
that is a fantastic story. So I really hope that they do that, and I think that would really go a long way
Right.
and giving Superman some longevity, because I think a lot of people always comment about how boring Superman is because he can literally do anything.
Right.
So I think showing him basically do anything and capitalize on the fact that he is holding back, will greatly humanize him.
You know what I love? The difference between DC and Marvel is James Gunn is every time someone's cast, like we learned about what's her name?
Yeah,
Engineer. What is her name? Engineer?
yeah, the engineer. You're right.
They just put it out there. They're not doing Marvel's, hey, Fantastic Four, we're not going to tell you right now. Oh, we're not going to tell you right now. And then the internet goes crazy with all these freaking guess who's and oh my god, this is it. Just like Chris Evans was on The View talking about Captain America, and one of the hosts asked, well, I saw that Marvel's wanting to bring you back. And he's like, news to me. So I like the fact that Gunn is saying, oh, look, we have our Lois Lane. Oh, look, we have our engineer. Oh, look, we have our, and they're not waiting for some big Comic-Con moment. We're getting the news as it's going. And I really appreciate that.
But the one thing to worry about with that though is, well, I guess not worry about it. You put these little tidbits out, and then when a new tidbit comes in, you're able to revitalize what you said before.
Right.
Because sometimes people, marketers are like, you can't, quote unquote, shoot your load too soon.
Right.
Because if you do, then no one's going to pay attention when the payload actually comes.
No, but by him telling us, look, the engineer is going to be coming, we already know Authority. And like Daniel said, Apollo, God, how awesome is it going to be to see Apollo and Midnighter on the screen? Like, but I think those are us speculating, based off of things Gunn said.
Yes, and I like that. God, I can't remember his name. I know the Experience probably does, but they cast Lex Luthor as well, and the character playing Lex Luthor was Beast in the X-Men movies. So I think that he is going to be in the First Class version, the second version of the X-Men. So I think I really enjoyed his character. I thought he was fantastic in Mad Max Fury Road. So I'm definitely here. Everything that they've said about Superman so far, I'm super excited for.
Yeah.
So
I want to say happy early birthday to Kenneth Bird.
64 years around the sun. That's fantastic. Congratulations, my friend. And he wishes everyone else a happy birthday who's having a birthday in December. So, well, okay. So over and all in all, I think Rich, even though he had to suffer. Nicholas Hoult, thank you. Even though he had to suffer through Blue Beetle.
No. Suffer is last night we watched Legends of the Zodiac, which is based on Saint Seiya. This movie was utter-ish. Like, trash movie. Horrible CGI. The writing was subpar. The acting was subpar. Famke Janssen, that's how you say her name?
Yeah, Famke, yeah.
Fought the Phoenix. It was bad. The whole movie, trash. Trash movie.
So the last time my good friend Joe, who might be listening, I don't know, Joe comes up every now and again, and he'll stay with us, and he loves the library, and I don't blame him. Like, he'll rent video games there, he rents movies there, he loves the library. So if you're not using your local library, then you're really missing out. But he rented that movie, so it was free. It was free, and he brought it over. So he brought it to us, and we're like, okay, let's sit down and let's watch this movie. And we sat down there and watched it. And I was like, and he's looking at me like, Are you having fun? And I'm like, I'm just sitting there watching this movie.
That movie was freaking torture for me last night. Now, we started the live Avatar movie, and we only made it like 10, 15 minutes in, and we quit. But, I mean, Avatar The Last Airbender, that live movie that they did.
God.
We sat through the whole thing.
Why? Even I was not foolish enough to watch that movie.
So, the whole thing is, I knew of Saint Seiya through our friend Don.
Yep.
Because he collected the toys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting story. And I was like, okay, cool, let's watch this. Why? This movie is exactly why One Piece did so well. when the creator is involved, they care about the project.
Yeah.
These writers, I don't know what they wrote. They wrote out their ass because this movie was just
Yeah,
terrible.
I saw your post and I was like, wow. I guess he didn't
Terrible.
like it.
I did not.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. And the one thing I'm happy is that like he rented it from the library, meaning he didn't have to pay for anything. So I was just like, man, that movie.
I think it's on Netflix. If anyone wants to sit through 2 hours of torture, just watch it.
No.
It's bad. It's bad.
One thing I am excited for on Netflix is the Yu Yu Hakusho movie that's coming out.
Never heard of it.
So it's another Japanese manga. It's one of my favorite mangas, and it's kind of a battle manga. And it's the spirit detective, and it's a guy that dies and has to come back and do stuff with the spirit world. And
Is it going to be live action?
Live action, but
good.
But the thing about it though is, I guess the creator is actually involved in it.
Good.
And it's actually the trailer's already out, and it's an abridged version of the final arc of the show. So which means they're kind of cramming a lot of stuff into it to make a cohesive film.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
That's dangerous.
But I do think that the action sequences look pretty good. Like they're I don't know. I'm thinking these manga adaptations, when they are done faithfully,
like One Piece.
Yeah, when they're done faithfully and the people really like give a crap about it, then they might be pretty good. Yeah. So if you're interested, you should definitely look at the trailer.
Have you seen the Avatar trailer for the new one?
Yes, and I'm not sure. Again, and please don't give me any hate. I have not watched any Avatar ever. I never watched the TV show, the cartoon. I never watched the movie. I never watched anything. I really missed the boat for the whole Avatar. Never seen Korra, never seen any of them. I know the story,
right?
But I never got into it. So my thinking is I'm actually going to go and watch the Avatar cartoon.
I would.
That way,
so good.
Yeah, that way I know what's going on before the TV show starts.
I think you should. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about taking the time and actually looking at some of these shows that are coming out and actually giving them their due.
Right.
I've really been bad about watching comic book TV shows. I have to tell you, people, I'm really, really into. It's funny. I'm going to say classic television, but I mean television from the 90s, so I've been really watching.
Classic.
I know, it's sad, but I've really been, ever since the pandemic, my partner and I have really just been watching a ton of old series from the beginning all the way through.
Like what?
So what did we watch? We watched all of The Cosby Show, all of The Different World. We're watching Martin now. Poor Paul. He's like, so only 5 seasons. So we're watching Martin now. We watched all of Cheers, all of Frasier, all of Wings, because that whole universe is connected.
Oh my God.
We've watched all of My Wife and Kids. We watched most of all the black comedies. We're watching those from the 90s. Wow. I want to find the Hughleys because that show was great.
Oh my God.
So that's what our nights, and then we watch some newer shows too. Like we're watching. Also, which I thought was really kind of cool.
Oh, it's called Knights. I can't even remember the name. It was that bad.
Yeah,
it's Knights of the Zodiac.
Yeah. What did you call it?
Legends.
Oh, it's the same thing. One thing that we watched, which I think that all of you should watch if you're not watching it, is we watched the Doctor Who special.
Oh my God! Yes.
So on Sundays, our friend Randy comes over because he's a huge Whovian.
Yep.
And we've been watching. We're gonna start watching Doctor Who. So that's after we finish Martin, we're going to watch Doctor Who, starting from the Christopher Eccleston one, because we actually watched most of the Christopher Eccleston, except for the major ending with the Daleks and all that. We didn't watch that. And then I watched a few of the David Tennant episodes, because David Tennant was the Doctor that I fell in love with. Yeah. I know everyone loves Matt Smith, but nothing against Matt Smith, but he's an interesting person to look at because he's kind of got a big head, and so like it's like his shoulder to head ratio is
off.
It's off. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I know people love him to death, and I just couldn't. I don't know, something about him. I couldn't get with it. So we're gonna watch all of them, and so
good.
that way we're ready for when the new Doctor takes over
Yes.
in the summer, which is on Disney now. So it's sad. You have to watch 3 different streaming services to watch Doctor Who. The original ones you got to watch. You got to watch BBC America or BritBox. The new ones you have to watch on Disney Plus, and the ones in between you have to watch on Max. So it's like, so it's kind of annoying. So Daniel Aslan says, totally aware of it for a significant time, but never watched any Airbender either. Hear great things. Recently got Crunchyroll and started Berserk, and Max has an anime series, Strange Something. So Berserk is actually pretty crazy. I read some of the books about Berserk and some of the manga about Berserk, but that stuff is crazy. Like it's really a really good series if you stick with it. Again, I've never seen any of the anime, but I've seen it before. And then the experience says, truth, David Tennant is my Doctor. Thank you. And when he came back for the next 4 episodes, the three special episodes, and then the Christmas episode, I was super excited for that. And the weird thing about it is he's his own Doctor. So he didn't regenerate as his former self. He regenerated as a new Doctor, which I thought was very weird. I thought, because you can't really go back in time, which is funny, to become that Doctor again. So he is a new version of that old Doctor. So it was really done. So yes, and Star Beast was fantastic. Did you watch it, Rich?
What is Star Beast?
So Star Beast was the first episode of the new Doctor Who.
Oh yes, we watched it.
Yeah, that so reminded me of you.
We watched it.
The Star Beast reminded me of you.
Why?
Because you're all like, I'm Rich, I'm so nice, and then you'll bite my hand, and I'm like, what the hell, Rich?
That's true. I can see that.
So TV is going pretty good. I cannot wait. The next movie that Rich and I are going to see together. So I'm going to see Godzilla -1. I'm going to be seeing that Sunday. I was supposed to see it last night, Wednesday night, for the fan night, but I was just too wrecked to see it, so I didn't see it. So I'm going to see it on Sunday, so I'll give my report back about that if you're interested in Godzilla. And then the next movie that Rich and I are going to see is Aquaman. So I cannot wait to see it with him. I know look at him shaking his head already. I know he's scared.
There's no scared about it. It's going to be another Knights of the whatever it's called.
That's Knights of the Zodiac. I think you're. You know what? I hate to say it. You know what? I don't hate to say it. I'm gonna declare my love for James Wan. His version of Aquaman. I think it does well in spite of Momoa's Aqua Bro. I really like the first one, given the visuals were fantastic. It seemed like it really looked like an outer space movie, given how well they did the look of everything and all the kingdoms and everything. There were so many different types of too many types of humanoid creatures that lived in the water. See, people don't give that first one enough credit for the world building that James Wan did in that movie. So I'm really hopeful that this one, having Black Manta be the central villain, does well. The sad thing about it is because this is the final movie of the original, the first DCEU. I really believe that Black Manta will die, and Aquaman will.
It's just like every other superhero movie, the villain will die.
But the thing about it, though, is given what he did in the first one, part of me is kind of okay with this because I think it would be a fitting end for Jason Momoa and Black Manta.
If they both die.
Yeah, if they both. Well, they're not going to kill Jason Momoa, so
Daniel is also excited for Godzilla.
Yeah, that is a man who has great taste right there. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break. And when we
got a lot of books to talk about.
Yeah, when we come back, we're going to be talking a lot about books. So please note that we do talk about spoilers, but we would love for you to stay because on the horizon, we have a couple of new number ones. We
Gang
have
War.
the Marvel event
Gang
Gang
War.
War. We got the first 3 books to talk about on that. I'm really curious to hear Rich's thoughts about that. And then we have some information about
The
I don't want
X-Books.
I don't want to say a retcon, but an update of one of our favorite X-Men. So which you loved, so I cannot wait to hear your thoughts
I
about
know.
it.
Hey,
So
we're not going to talk about your mom, I promise.
we promise. We
Yeah.
promise. So
All right, join us back.
I'll talk to you in a minute. Bye.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
There's a comic book universe on the streets of Cleveland. Hero Tomorrow Comics is debuting
Violante, the Undead.
Get the new issue or the entire acclaimed library live on Kickstarter.
I'm coming for you, Cleveland.
Details at clevelandsuperhero.com.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you. You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. You are watching the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. I'm Rich.
I'm Desmond.
And we are going to talk some comic books. But first, thanks for watching us on The Experience. Be sure to go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Watch us on any of those platforms. And then on Facebook, like the Geek Chat and the Comic Book Beardies. And then, as always, head to comicshoppingexperience.com for all things The Experience. So the first book we're going to do, I kind of told Des to read because I love the Batman 89 movie. And
Yeah.
they have put out an earlier miniseries, and now we have Batman 89 Echoes.
Yep.
And in this, Bruce Wayne and Batman have been gone for some time.
2 years.
Yep. And there are bat imposter vigilante people going out and dying.
Yep. So who's the writer?
Oh, yeah, let's do that. So, Echoes, Chapter 1. Sam Hamm was the writer. Joe Quinones is the artist and the cover. Leonardo Ito is the colorist. And Carlos M. Mangual was the letterer.
Yep.
And then a bunch of variant covers.
A bunch of variant covers.
A bunch. So they are wearing made-up bat suits with weird kind of Kelvar that doesn't work. It's kind of just like mattress padding at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't stop bullets at all.
At all.
These bargain basement Batmen.
So Barbara Gordon is taken over. Bullock is still around.
Yep.
And we have an Alfred looking just like the actor, now staying at Wayne Manor. And that's the story. And then you get a little bit, I liked this book because you got a little bit more of the actual Batman movie references. So you got the Joker, and the Joker looks like Jack Nicholson. And you got, what was the lady's name? Ex Mick Jagger. She was in the movie.
Oh, God. I know you're talking about it.
Jerry Hall. Thank you.
Jerry Hall.
You already could say that.
Yeah, Jerry Hall.
Her character is referenced, but two new characters are Harley and Jonathan Crane.
And they don't like each other, but they both work at Arkham Asylum, which is hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their little interaction was really cute. Their little under the breath digs at each other.
And they really
Michael, go. Thank you.
Yeah. And another thing that they really did that I thought was really kind of cool is they referenced the first. They referenced the first one just enough in order to get you up to speed with this one, which I thought was really good. That and of course you need a little bit of an exposition, and I think it's great that how they did it was kind of organic to the conversation that Captain Gordon is doing now because she's taken over from Commissioner Gordon, and I really like her not really trusting Bruce Wayne and Batman, but really going on the fact that her father, trusts him, but she's like, I like this no nonsense Barbara Gordon that they've introduced. So,
and I'm wondering, was she or has she been Batgirl?
No, I don't think that she's. I think she's going to become Batgirl or Batwoman in this iteration. I think she's going to become that, much like Robin in the first one. So, and then we get to see another character, which I thought was great, was Firefly.
Right.
And I really liked that he had that kind of weird luchador mask going on, but we find out at the end that it was a ruse.
Right.
And it's actually Bruce Wayne, and he was captured, and he is in Arkham and meets Scarecrow.
Harley. Oh, Scarecrow, yeah.
No, he doesn't mean Harley yet.
Right.
But I want to see, and I really like the artist. I think Quinones does a really fantastic job of making it comic booky, but also sticking to what the person looks like. Some artists, they either like really, really look like the person, or they don't. Or it's kind of like symbols that kind of like, you'll look at the person, you're kind of like, okay, that's supposed to be so and so. Here, it looks like a comic book representation of Michael Keaton, and I really liked that. I thought I thought his artwork is really good at capturing a comic book accurate portrayal of what I would think he would look like. Like I looked at that final page when he was all beaten up and everything, and I'm like, damn, that looks like an older Bruce Wayne that would live in this continuity. Like it didn't seem out of place. It didn't seem like, oh hell, that's just it didn't seem like, oh hell, that's just Michael Keaton. It's like, no, this actually looks like a Michael Keaton-esque Bruce Wayne. I don't know. I really liked his art on this book, and I thought the art really helped sell it for me.
Yeah, I thought this book across all, the writing was strong, the art was strong, the story dropped you in and told you about the past, like you had mentioned, but gave us something new. It was a great number one. I really enjoyed this.
Also, were you happy that Harley Quinn looked like Madonna? Like, this is very 80s. Like, we have to remember that this takes place in 1989.
Right.
So, there's 80s stuff going on in here. And I love the fashion, Daniel says that he's been eyeballing it. Daniel, it's really good. It's a really good book, and I really like the way I really like the way that they
we'll do that now.
The story is being told. Yeah, and she looks like a really great looking Madonna. So I really want to see what she looks like Like, if we're gonna get like this, like, there's something about Harley Quinn's costume, that she has the kind of like sex kitten look to herself right now because that's kind of the one that sells, and plus Margot Robbie kind of made that her new iconic look.
Right.
But I'm wondering how they're going to 80s this Harley Quinn. Like, if it's going to be much more traditional, or is it going to be the Daddy's Little Monster version, or if this is going to be a whole new one. Like,
I'm hoping
really
for all
excited.
new. I'm really hoping
Me too.
for all new.
Me too.
I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I will be picking up the rest.
Yeah. It was weird
story.
though because I only read a little bit of the first one.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna go back and finish reading it. Definitely gonna go back and finish reading it.
But she's the blank?
She's not the blank. Okay, so the next book we're going to talk about is Titans Beast World. You got that cover? I just got the regular cover.
You know I have to get me some Archer. I mean, look, it's Donna.
They didn't have that one. So anyway,
sorry.
I'm happy to say that one of my favorite artists drew this.
Oh yeah, duh.
And I didn't even realize it was him until I was really looking at it. In that first panel, I was like, "This looks like someone I like." And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh my god, it is! Yay!" So it's Titans Beast World Part 1. Tom Taylor was the writer. Ivan Reis was the penciler. Fantastic. Inker was Danny Miki. And the colorist was Brad Anderson. And the letterer is Wes Abbott. And this, and a bunch of different cover artists. A lot of covers. So, yeah. Beast World. People are turning into beasts, I guess. I don't know. I went into this book knowing nothing about what's going on in the current DC universe.
That's right, because you don't read Titans, do you?
I don't read Titans.
Oh, so in the last issue of Titans,
I had no idea.
You learn that Brother Blood has these aliens that possess people, and the whole thing is the Flash, Wally West, was dead. Well, they came back in time, something like this. It was confusing, and he's alive. And now the Titans are keeping him in Titans headquarters because someone's going to kill him. Well, that someone is Linda. Because
no,
she
not
was
Linda.
Infected by this weird Starro evil thing that makes her do things.
Yeah, the anti-Starro.
That kind of kicked off in a very loose way Beast World. And I just want to let everyone know, if you are interested in this series and don't know much about Beast Boy, DC has put out Beast World Evolution. It's a one-shot with 3 different stories about Gar. And one is from Teen Titans number 6, back in the day, like way back in the day. Tales of the New Teen Titans number 3, The Changeling. It was the 1-4 issue where they spotlighted each character, and this one was all about the history and what Gar went through during his time. So it kind of shows you all the different incarnations that he's gone through. And then the very end was a newer book. After Gar was shot by Terminator and lost his eye, used to. It is about Power Girl and Lilith connecting with him so he could turn into animals again without fear. And they did include one that came out a little bit ago, which was a reference to the Tales of the Teen Titans featuring, in this he was called Changeling. Now he's going by Beast Boy. But it was about him learning how to grow into a bigger animal because Gar couldn't turn into anything huge, which all leads into the Titans Beast World, where he grows into a giant, spoiler, Starro. Like giant.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic when he turned into a green Starro. Like, I thought that was awesome. And he fought the Conqueror alien, who was a being that Starfire's people fought.
Right.
And so she knew how to fight them. And what I really you know what? I'm here for and I think I'm gonna go back and start reading the Titans because the reason why is because I am or the Necrostar. Thank you, Daniel. I am here for the Beast Boy Raven love story.
Right.
And the
So
way she put Batman in his place, I was like, yes.
yeah.
I was here for it. I was like, the clapback was amazing. He
Yeah.
is not one of your Robins. I was
Nope.
like, woo!
Yeah. So Daniel, I also was a massive Titans fan. I've been a Titans fan very, very long time. I read all the incarnations, even Dan Jurgens when the Atom was a youngin. I don't know if you remember that. It was not good. So he says it was okay, pulling some stretch on Gar's power set. And I have to agree. It's weird seeing Gar be able to turn into a swarm of bees or a bunch of birds. In the last issue of Titans, he turned into bees. He turned into ladybugs. He turned into like just all these weird creatures. I'm glad he's learned how to do this. It just is a far cry from where he started out, and he would be a normal size or a regular colored animal with a green head. But yet when he was in his Beast Boy outfit, he had a purple head. Things made no sense back then.
You know what? All
What?
I have to say is if Storm can go to Mars or outer space and still control the weather in outer space, I'm fine with Beast Boy turning into some bees. Okay, and I love the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man reference experience. Not the bees, the bees. So I'm fine with it. I love when.
Good evening, Lyle. Welcome in.
Yes, welcome, Lyle. I love when characters finally get a chance to grow and they finally get a chance to show how powerful they are. And I'm with you, Daniel. I want to see the menagerie come back. I want to see him be this sort of living entity of all of these animals and it's that's why I've always thought that Chameleon Boy was so cool, was because he could change into all these different things just by looking at it. He could change into it, and
Right.
I want to see Gar be able to do that.
Well, he did.
Yes. However, the ending. What'd you think about that evening and the endings? Like, I was very taken out. Like, that ending really took me out of it because I was like,
With Black Adam?
no, the
with
Dr.
Dr. Hate.
I was
Okay.
like, Dr. Hate?
So
We're doing this now. Okay.
You haven't been reading, right? So,
I haven't been. So I was taken out of it. I was like, wait, what?
so
Dr.
Amanda
Hate.
Waller
I'm like,
has
Dr. Twitter? What?
her mad on for superheroes has increased, and they got this Dr. Hate helmet and put it on someone. The readers don't know who is under the mask, but I guess he controlled Gar's mind.
Yes.
Yes, Amanda Waller is showing up in the next book we're reviewing as well, and it's just she has got her fingers in everything,
Which I love.
and she's also the Peacemaker is also her arms, her hands. He's the one fulfilling her wishes in doing all this horrible things.
Wow.
Which is weird for the Peacemaker, but he wants peace at any cost.
Yeah. So Daniel says, yeah, but star level with mind control and offspring animals affecting starfish, even powered. Bah, I digress. Comics be comicking all the time. You can definitely expect comics to be comicsing every time.
Oh my god, yeah.
All the time.
Oh
yes.
yeah, it was in thank you, Daniel. It was Night Terrors, which no one really read.
I didn't read it. I was
They
like,
put out Halloween books, not in Halloween. Whatever.
Actually, to tell you the truth, if you're I watched Comics Explained, and they were the ones. He was the one that went through, and I that's how I got all my news about Night Terrors. So I was like, I can't with this. I was like, I'm sorry.
I think that I think the experienced Desmond would have that name.
Dr. Late. Hey, I have not been late in a very long time.
All right.
Be Dr. CPT. Anyway.
So I don't know. I've read up to number 3 already for Beast World.
Ooh, no fair. How is it going? Like, would you recommend it? 'Cause I'm looking at that list at the end, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is quite a list of comics. I was like, oh,
Well,
am I gonna buy all them?
we're going to be looking at Gang War. Gang War has a long list as well.
And not as many as these.
Yeah. I am sticking to the main book, unfortunately. I have read 3 of the spin-offs, and they were not
good.
me. I want to say not good.
They just didn't hit it for you.
They did not hit it for me, so I opted out of purchasing them. But I will be reading the main book, as I am a Titans fan, and I've been reading these different variations of these characters for the last 20, 30 years. So
Or longer. Yeah.
or longer.
Okay. So the next book we're going to talk about is Justice Society of America, which I honestly thought was over. I totally thought it was a miniseries.
So a couple weeks ago on the Geek Chat, we were talking about Justice Society, and Des is like, "Oh no, it's over. The last issue came out a couple months ago," and I was like, "Huh?" And then on our order, so retailers do a thing called FOC. It's final order cutoff. It's the absolute last time we can order these books, and then they come out 3 weeks later. On the FOC, Justice Society number 7 was out, and I texted him. I'm like, it's not over. It's still going.
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? So I'm confused about one specific thing.
There was no last issue?
Well, this is chapter 2.
This is chapter 2.
So I was like, okay. Did I miss something? Number 1. Number 2, does this take place on Earth 2?
So here is the thing that connected. In Beast World.
Oh my god.
In Beast World, in the panel where all the heroes are in Titan's Tower, which I never knew Titan's Tower was so big. I mean, it's a tower; it's huge.
It's a giant team.
There is the page with all the heroes.
Yeah.
And do you remember like Crisis or any of the other Crisis books?
Of course.
And they would show the 2-page spread of all the heroes.
Yeah.
I feel like they've shrunk. That is how much DC doesn't care about a lot of its B, C, and D characters. We have just the main families. There's like 3 families now in DC. So in the corner over here is this girl, and I'm like, who the hell is that? It looks like Clarion the Witch Boy, but it's a girl. And then in JSA, she's in this. So I think this book takes place on the main book with the Titans Beast World, because it's the same character, and it's the same couple of child characters from this, from the Stargirl. So I think it does. I think it takes place on this Earth. And also, Kara has, or whatever her name is, I'm calling her Kara, she has the Superman jacket with the S on it.
I noticed that too when I was reading this one, and that's what confused me because I wasn't sure where
I think it takes place on the same Earth.
Okay.
I have to tell you that Jeff Johns was the writer, Marco Santucci is the artist, Ivan Placencia.
Thank you.
Sorry for butchering your name, sir. Did the colors. Rob Lee did the letters, and Michael Janin did the cover, which is gorgeous. I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to recap or do you want to talk about what we liked and not liked?
Let's talk about what we liked and not liked, because it seemed like they're building the team. So they are building a team for something that's coming back. And again, if you have not read Stargirl's Children's Crusade or whatever it's called,
They reference it. I'll find it.
Yeah, you're kind of missing out, because a lot of these
lost children,
a lot of these teens were from that. Who this is basically the continuing story of all the stuff that happened in that when Stargirl came and brought these sort of like legacy characters forward, and I guess into this world, into the Prime world. And so, which is weird though, because you have Huntress, who is Bruce Wayne and Catwoman's
daughter,
yet she's calling Batman dad, which is not correct because this version of Batman didn't have a daughter. So
Right.
so that's why it was confusing me because of where this actually takes place. And so we have this side story of they're trying to build a team. Solomon Grundy gets destroyed by accident by the Jinx from the Teen Titans cartoon, pretty much, slashed with Clarion the Witch Boy. That's
Right.
It's kind of a gender swap of Clarion the Witch Boy a little bit, and so she inadvertently burns up Solomon Grundy, and now Doctor Fate, who is a younger kid, has got this feeling that he has to save Solomon Grundy now, and then the witch girl should have had the helmet of Dr. Fate, so she's kind of good but not good. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this book, and it seems like it was a lot of set. Oh, and then they free Icicle, which I thought was really cool because I like Icicle as a character. He was part of the JSA, so they free him because he can be both good and bad. So he's gonna join.
He's bi.
Yeah. And then the last page we get, which I thought basically, which really made me super happy, because if you know me, I'm a huge Legion of Superheroes fan.
Oh yeah, I knew you'd like this.
But we get Jeff Johns, and they have to take Dr. Fate to the 31st century in order to help them, and he was greeted by the Legion of Substitute Superheroes, which is fantastic, which makes me believe that there's something going on with
in the future.
Yeah, with the real Legion of Superheroes. And what's hilarious is they had Stone Boy, who was actually, so the other two people were not, they're new characters created by Jeff Johns, but Stone Boy, to my knowledge they're created, but Stone Boy was one of the original substitute superheroes,
Right.
substitute superheroes. It's great.
Where he
Turns
just
up the
would
stone.
stand straight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Like that was the one thing. Like this last page right here
Nailed it for you.
really made me thinking, oh damn, now I'm kind of excited, because if anything, I'm a sucker for a Legion story, and hopefully, if this does well, which I don't think it will, we'll get Legion in the future. But
Right.
overall, it was just kind of a crazy mishmash of ideas that Jeff Johns is having. But now that Jeff Johns has created his own little imprint with a couple of other writers, I don't know how.
We're not getting it.
What was that?
I don't think we're getting it.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know how tied in he's going to be
Right.
to DC anymore when he's trying to get this other thing up and off the ground. Because ultimately, I believe that he's doing this, or they're doing this, in order to get properties. That way, they can make TV series and movies and stuff like that. That way, they can get a little bit of that Hollywood piece of the
Right.
pie.
So
Daniel, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Clarion is rumored to be in Beast War, and Maxine, Animal Man's daughter. So she was in The Flash. Maxine has been in. I stopped reading The Flash with issue 1. Has she been in it more?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't read the new ones yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then Salem the Witch Girl. Seeing the Legion in this and Green Arrow got me going as well. Clean my palette of Bendis Black.
Yeah, I really tried with that Gold Lantern story, and I was just like, this is boring. It was
Yeah.
I couldn't feel it, and I really tried because, like, again, I am a sucker for Legion. If you
You
ever
are.
want to, if you ever want to read a really good Legion, the Nail was fantastic. Both of them were pretty good, but the first one, great stuff, great stuff. But on that note, we are going to take a quick little break, and when we come back,
A lot.
it's gang war time. Pew, 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 pew. We'll be right back.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Desmond, aka Black Beardy, or Baby Beardy, but I'm trying to become.
Look at you.
I'm trying to become adolescent Beardy right now.
Good, you got to water it and talk to it.
Thank you.
So you are watching us on The Experience, and we are on a drive to hit 2,500 subs on YouTube. So like, subscribe, and share. Let everyone know. If you enjoy watching us, let everyone know, hey, these 2 guys are on. They're kind of stupid, but they know what they're talking about.
They're kind of like taters and gravy, but you get them. They're kind of filling. They're fattening, but filling. I
just want to say that the JSA book was not a complete story for me. It was just random ideas that Jeff Johns has. There was no cohesion to the story. Why is Wildcat after Amanda Waller? That's how I read it. It was cool seeing Jean Loring, but that means that horrible, shitty story still is in Identity Crisis. Identity Crisis. What I'm talking about. That's still in continuity. Why they chose some things and not others, but that is still in continuity, I guess. I don't like my Dr. Fate with sneakers. I was really, you're old when they change a character so much that sneakers bug you. The costume was stupid.
You came back hot.
There was some good things. I was a little iffy on the art, but the art really, by the end, I think the art was solid. Things you already mentioned, the whole dad calling it like it. They have not cemented for us as readers and fans what is going on with this book. Does it take place? Where does it take place? When does it take place? When does it take place? Yeah. And the other thing I didn't like, and then we'll start our gang war, I did not like, they spent the first 6 issues showing you this team, and now the next 6 issues, they're building the team. I just think that's a waste. That's
and for what? Like, there's no reason. Like, the thing is I think Jeff Johns had an idea, and DC was like, okay, and then they were like, well, this is selling really well, continue, and he was like, well, damn. And so I think this book, or this issue number 7, was just that. he's setting all these different loose threads up. That way he can decide what he wants to write and what he doesn't
Too
want
many.
to write.
It's unnecessary. When Chris Claremont did it, he had 10 years to tell the stories. Some he never did, like we never found out how Psylocke and Jean switch powers. Really doesn't matter now. But you're on issue 7, and this is part 2. Where was part 1? The book was a mess, and I enjoyed it at the same time. It's really weird. I think the nostalgia factor is why I'm holding on to this book, because I love the JSA. I used to read the JSA over the Justice League. So I have high hopes for this book. I think that they need to rein him in. And like you said, he's on his own project now. How dedicated is he going to be to writing his book?
Not very. That's why I think we're going to... Which is annoying, you know.
It is.
Well, this has been a very heavy DC show. So now we're moving on to Marvel and Marvel's big tentpole, I guess, winter thing.
Daniel, I agree. Issue 12 will release sometime in 2028, and he'll still be writing it, and we're still going to be on, the team building, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Okay. So, Gang War. Yeah.
First
no Jabroni Chief. No Jabroni Chief.
Oh,
no
hello,
DC.
Jabroni Chief.
So, yes, Gang War.
Zeb Wells.
First book was The Amazing Spider-Man, and this was the
First Strike. Ooh, what cover did you get?
I got a cover by somebody. I don't remember.
Show me it.
It was the Rochelle Rosenberg and Joey Vasquez cover.
Wrong one.
That's me.
That's nice.
I liked it because it had all of the gang. Most of the gang leaders in the cover.
Yes,
on the cover.
I was unaware that New York City had so many gangs. The
little
map they show.
I'm not surprised.
Crazy.
I'm not surprised, and I think that's really kind of cool that they did it like this. And I'm really happy that it is a. What am I going to say? It is a down to earth. Kind of it's a street level kind of event that we're getting, and I like stories about villains and about gang war and stuff like that, because it kind of grounds it a little bit more. And I think it's funny that for all Spider-Man's good, there's all these different little gangs going around, which doesn't surprise me because it's New York, and New York has always been established as a gangland kind of city, and now to see it broken down like this is good, because people don't realize that the Owl has been a gang lord before,
right?
And now that and now that Kingpin is kind of off doing his own thing, this is how everything kind of was cut in, right? And I liked it. I liked this episode. I loved that this issue. I love that Miles reined in, or told Peter what was up,
right?
Because of his absence about what happened last time when he was kind of crazy with the whole Kraven thing. And I like that Miles was like, look, you need to step up, and I think that's great seeing Miles that Miles has basically become a man, and is showing his kind of hey, if you're gonna do this, you need to do this.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool. And he's not his quote unquote sidekick anymore, or a lesser Spider-Man. He is a Spider-Man. And even Peter says, "Yeah, you're Spider-Man." I understand. And Peter is put in his place. I liked that.
So let's get this out of the way. Zeb Wells with Cody Ziegler writing, Joey Vasquez with Julian Shaw, the artists, Brian Valenza was the color artist, and one of two books that tonight, VC's Joe Caramagna was the letterer.
Yeah, Daniel Ashton says, ew, Zeb Wells Spider-Man lost me at before Kamala's death gimmick and definitely after. Yeah, Zeb Wells is a hard sell right now for a lot of people, given what he's doing. I'm giving Gang War a try because I am a huge Spider-Man fan, and I like stories about the mobsters that are a smaller part of Spider-Man's rogues gallery, and I don't think that they get enough time in the spotlight. And I love that there are other there are other villains in here that you don't normally see Spider-Man tackle. And I love it because of that. There's no new characters really. It's all characters that have already been established, Spider-Man villains. We have Hammerhead, we have,
Well,
Diamondback.
spoiler alert, we had Hammerhead.
Yeah. I don't think he's dead though. Madame Mask is back in it. I love Madame Mask. Traditionally an Iron Man villain, but now she's here. Blue Beat or
Ringmaster of all freaking people, the Ringmaster.
Right.
So I was like, and he's hypnotizing these people to do his bidding.
Yeah, because it was Hammerhead that kept them all in check.
Right.
And now that he has been removed from the board, Madame Mask is like, I want all of it. I want all of it. I want all of them to go to war, and I want to pick up the pieces of what's left. Thought it was great.
So I also want to say that in New York City, when Kingpin was mayor, he put together a no superhero, no vigilantes, no costumes law. And so Spider-Man swinging around is basically
he's an outlaw
against the law.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I love how in this book, Orcus is nowhere to be found. Because in the other Marvel books, especially the X books, Orcus and their Iron Man Sentinels are everywhere in New York City, and we've not seen one yet.
Not yet. I do think that we'll probably see them in certain books that are going to be coming out in the future.
Right.
I do think that this is. I probably will not pick up every side story, only a couple of them for characters that I super care about. But I will be reading the main story because I kind of want to see what happens, and I want to see. I just want to see what happens, and I want to see how everything kind of plays out. I know Daredevil's supposed to be in it. Two other tie-ins that came out was Luke Cage and Spider-Woman, so they're coming back into the fold. Although we're going to transition over to Luke Cage right now. I got this cover because there was only one cover. And I got the Luke Cage #1, it was by Rodney Barnes, and Ramon F. Box, and was the artist. Andrew Dalhouse was the colorist, and VC's Travis Lanham was the letterer. And the cover was by Kanan White. Love the cover. I thought the cover was fantastic. Him standing on the car, taking all the bullets, holding the meter. Just a great picture. And then you open it up, and while the art is decent, it did not do the book any favors, and I was really kind of saddened by that. And this is so now Luke Cage is mayor. He was elected mayor. So he's taking over after the Kingpin's reign is over. And so he basically has to try to find a way to deal with this gang war while vigilantism and superheroes are outlawed in New York. So how is he going to do that?
And this book takes place almost on the second to last issue, the second to last page of the first strike. He has his talk with Spider-Man. Luke Cage has his talk with Spider-Man, which is going to springboard into other books. But in this, he says, you do what you got to do. I'll keep police out of your way. And then we go to Luke Cage's book to where Luke Cage as mayor has his hands tied. And he's like, screw that.
Yep. And I love seeing the other C-level characters. Cloak and Dagger was in this, which I thought was great.
So Cloak and Dagger right now are under Orcus's control over an uncanny Spider-Man.
Well,
so
this is they got freed.
They got freed. All right, they're back.
They got freed. They're happy.
Okay.
Maybe this takes place before Orcus and all that.
Okay. So Daniel, no, there was more than one cover because I got this cover.
Really? I thought there was only one. Oh,
nope,
anyway.
They didn't, which is weird. They did not give any kind of credits to any of the variant covers.
They didn't. That's what I thought was really crazy.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, heard was Cage was the best so far. No, it was not. It was not good. Sorry, I did not like it, and I did not. Oh, Daniel says, "Cloak and Dagger." Damn, guys, you really started to sell me. Okay, the one thing I did not like, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. Well, I'm going to tell what I don't like, but I'm not going to show you it. Okay. I did not like his costume. I thought that costume was hideous. Woo! I was like, I've been waiting so long to get that off my chest. Why did they do that to that man? That costume was atrocious. I really hope that's not his main costume, or I really hope he gets a costume change or something, because that costume, woo! It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. He looked like one of the he looked like one of the rejects from the Wrecking Crew. Like seriously, his costume was a monstrosity, looking like Violet Beauregard over here. No, I was not happy with that costume.
So I want to say that the artist Ramon Box, he is normally I was excited when I saw his name attached to this book. I don't know. So it says colorist. Andrew Dahlhaus was a colorist. Did he do the inks? Did Ramon do his own inks? There's a lot going into this. Yeah. I didn't think the art was that bad.
I didn't like the art at all.
I don't think, like you said, I don't think it did the book any favors.
I didn't like the art
and
at all.
At times, when he was the back half of the book basically was too dark. The inking was too dark. Yeah. The coloring was too dark. You shouldn't have to put it under a light to see what's going on. I mean, it was a little too dark for what was going. And we're not going to spoil who the villain is in this book. I thought it was interesting that he looks like his 90s cartoon counterpart.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, hey, just like Daniel says.
Don't know where he came from.
The 90s are back, baby.
And that's just it, Daniel. The villain of the book was, I honestly thought this dude was dead. I was like, they brought him back? What?
I am super excited. I was like, yay, we got 90s villains.
And then Spider-Woman. I feel so bad for Jessica Drew. Jessica Drew gets piped. I'm going to say that because I can't say any other word. She gets it so bad. They have not treated Jessica Drew correct in a couple decades. I mean, this poor girl just,
I got this cover, and I have to tell you, I actually liked it. I don't know why I root for underdogs, but I absolutely love Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, and I'm so happy that she is back in her original costume.
Oh my God, yes, that biker outfit was horrendous.
It was hideous. But it's back, and this is only a tie-in in order to get you to buy this number one. Yes. This number one sets up her ongoing series with a little bit of gang war.
It's gonna last 9 issues if it's lucky.
You know what? As long as Marvel can get a trade paperback out of it, they're fine with it.
Yeah.
You know that. 6, maybe a year tops, depending on and if they're able to tie her into another event coming forward. Literally, Spider-Man shows up literally at the end to tell her that I want you to join my thing, and she's fine. She has a run-in, with one of the gang bosses, Diamondback. And
I was disappointed. So when I think of the name Diamondback,
I don't think of that guy.
I don't. I think of the pink-haired Captain America fan.
Exactly. So that's when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, damn! A Captain America villain's coming in, sweet." But what I really liked is the ties that Diamondback has to Hydra, bringing it back to Jessica Drew because of all of her time with Hydra. So the writer, Steve Fox, artist, Carola Baroli, colorist was RF Prianto, letters by VC's Joe Sabino, and cover was by Lynn Francis Yu. This one I want to say is the Bob art. The main one was by him. I don't know which one this is. I think this might be the Bengal cover. I'm not really sure.
I think it is.
I think it is the Bengal cover too. But and then so the main thing about this is when I guess she does show up. Yeah, Carol Danvers shows up because they're
in her
best
new
friends.
Hideous costume.
That what was it? I kept thinking that costume was like a rejected Prince costume from the Purple Rain era.
It's like a drum majorette.
That's what I mean. It's like
it's so hideous.
Like all she needs is like a ruffled shirt, and she's
I have
like,
to agree with you.
Circle.
It is so nice seeing her back in her
Yeah.
costume.
But so basically what happened was she was cut from the web of life as a
Yep.
spider person, and then when all the spider people worked together to put her back in, her son was left out of her life, and so now no one remembers the son, but she does, and so she's trying to find her son. So that is the crux of this series going on after she deals with Diamond Head or whatever, Diamondback, and the whole thing going on with gang war. Once that's done, then it's back on. As a fan, her son is not Spider Boy, or Bailey, no, because she's not a redhead. She has a soul. And then just kidding. But yeah, I like it only because it's Spider Girl or Spider Woman. So I'm gonna keep buying it. I supported her last series. I'm a sucker.
Read that. I could not read that last series.
I am a sucker. I'm a sucker. So those are the three that came out of Gang War. Will I be reading it? I'll be reading the main issues to see what goes on, but I probably will not be getting any of the side stories. And I'll follow Spider-Woman because I really like her. Will you be reading it, Rich?
I will. I don't like her son. I don't want her to have a son. I hate.
Why?
I've hated that son from the beginning.
Let them grow.
No, I hate that. I hate it. So I didn't mind this book. I thought the art was very fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
Nothing extreme, nothing bad.
I like that. I like the thing between Carol and her. Saying, "Hey, I miss my friend. I hope you're doing well." That was nice.
Yes. I just hate the child. I just let the child go. Just let the child go. Let the child go. I hate
You're
it.
killing me.
So I want to.
No, we're gonna finish up on one book because I know we only have 10 minutes left, and the one book that I wanted to talk about is I really wanted to talk about this book because it really changes it retcons some stuff about one of Rich's most favorite characters. I think she is your favorite characters ever, and her relationship. And it is Marvel X-Men Blue Origins. I got this cover.
Beautiful cover. I got that cover too.
Yeah, because of who is it? I mean, it's a beautiful cover. I saw that cover and I was like, this is amazing.
Yes.
So it springs out of the Hellfire Gala, and it that's the main cover. It comes out of X-Men, the Hellfire Gala, and it follows what's going on in Uncanny Spider-Man, which is Nightcrawler being Spider-Man. So if you want to get caught up to where this is, those are the books that you probably need to read. But I'll turn it over to Rich.
So the child must be sacrificed in Spider-Woman, yes, but not X-Men Blue Origins. So let's start with who did what. Cy Spurrier has been writing Nightcrawler for the last 4 or 5 maybe years, a little longer, and so I feel like he was the right person to write this. Wilton Santos with Oren Jr. doing the inks, and Marcus Toe were the artists. Cece De La Cruz was the color artist, and VC's Joe Caramagna was the letterer, and Tom Mueller and Jay Bowen were the designers. And Francis Manipul did that main cover that the experience showed.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic. So let's start with this. We only have a little bit. I have been a Nightcrawler kind of fan, but it was Mystique that did it for me in 177, where she tried to kill all the X-Men in Arcade's Carnival. She sliced Wolverine's throat. She basically did away with all the X-Men, but couldn't kill Kurt. That was the one thing, and she gets taken down because of that. So she first appeared even earlier in the Days of Future Past. But for me, reading that, I was just like, okay, whatever. But it wasn't until, I'll be honest, it was that purple battle suit that she shifts into, and Storm takes the power of the Storm, and Mystique just absorbs it and transfers it back and takes Storm down. The sheer ferocity in which Mystique took down all the X-Men, I was like, who is this? So from there, I went back, bought all her little side stories, and to this day, she is my number one. Now, back in the 80s, when Claremont originally was writing, and yes, Daniel, they should have let him write. I agree. He should have wrote this issue because it was his idea back then. But editorial and the climate at the time, a woman shifting into a man to impregnate her wife was, you couldn't do that. You really couldn't do that. And so it was left a mystery, but Claremont always teased it throughout things. Okay, fast forward to the 2000s when a writer named Chuck Austin was writing the X-Men, and he wrote Nightcrawler's origin to be the Draco, which was Azazel, who then made an appearance in the X movie, was his father, a demon from hell who wanted to populate the earth with as many of his children so that he could take over the earth. That was the story, people. And then I was pissed. I was like, no, this is stupid. He's stupid. This is stupid.
It made no sense.
Stupid was my word. It made no sense to the characters, to everything that came before, allowing this red demon. So by this, red and a purple, Nightcrawler should have been purple, if we're going by that. So fast forward another 20 years, and you get Cy Spurrier telling the story of how he was a Duggar.
Dugar.
What is that? I don't get that reference.
It's a D&D reference.
Oh. So we get Cy Spurrier finally telling the story of Nightcrawler's birth. And I was very happy. There's a lot of hate online for it. There's a lot of love online for it. But overall, I think it cements what a lot of us has known. Oh, 19 kids. That is too many children. 19 kids and counting. I don't know that. Oh, wait. He's the one that diddled the child. I do know who that is. Josh Duggar. Yeah, I know who that is. No, we're not talking about that. So I was excited for this book. The art was very serviceable. I really enjoyed some of the panels.
Oh, that one. Sorry.
I did not know that where are they from? Wherever that is, they're stuck in like the 18th century, I guess.
And like England or something.
Yeah.
Okay, the one thing that I didn't get real quick for the and I guess maybe editorial said they couldn't show this, but why is Destiny giving birth to that child from her back?
Upside down? Yeah, she's
this whole scene right here. I was like, okay, how old are we?
I know.
I was like, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
so I literally had to look at it, and I thought to myself, is this Mystique giving birth or no? Because she's sitting next to her.
Yeah. I think the artist who drew that needs to maybe watch how babies are born. I don't know.
Why did editorial catch that? Like, no. Yeah. I was so that was the one thing that took me out of it, because I'm like, I know Destiny is a mutant, so she should see the future about what happened. I just like.
Let's talk about that.
I liked Bud Baby. No, Daniel. Baby. No, he teleported out of her. No. I liked how everything was laid out in this. I told Rich when I finished reading it, I texted him. I was like, okay, this story was great, and in the fact that it literally, Cy Spurrier went back and he literally did a Jeff Johns in his prime, when Jeff Johns could go through and make sense of and retcon stuff so that it made sense. He did that in this, to the fact that like everything made logical sense for how it happened. When I texted him, I said, okay, the story was great. And I know that it did a retcon, but it was not messy at all. No. Like it made sense. The way that she reacted, the way that they brought Professor X in, and how like Professor X had to erase their minds in order for her to get over and still be with Destiny. Like that stuff like that, and like her emotions. Like I've never seen Mystique this emotionally vulnerable in, and I don't know how long. Right. Number one, and so the fact that she was okay with it and she let Kurt in, like this is a textbook, like great story. It begins, it ends. You get a complete story. There's nothing left out. The only thing that I wish that Cy Spurrier had left out was the baby Nightcrawler. I thought that was a little distracting. It talking to the reader because it took us out. It took us out.
That isn't the baby. That's one of his BAMFs.
No. I know that's what it is, but that I know it's not
like
Nightcrawler
the framing sequence at all.
Yeah, I didn't like that because I get it. You're trying to bring the people in and keep it one complete story without doing captions or anything like that. I get that, but
so
I didn't need to be there.
Experience says birthing on hands and knees is a thing.
Really?
Yeah, so we learned something. See, we are educational here on the Geek Chat.
So that was
teach you things.
So that was canon accurate given to the time frame that they were in. Yes. That is amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just want to say this also. This book goes to a larger narrative of what Destiny and Mystique, their relationship throughout this Krakoan age.
Yep.
And in Immortal, which we didn't get to talk about, Destiny might be dead. So because
I don't think she is.
I don't think she is either, but she was taken off the board. Now that Mystique is back, and I can't wait for a full-fledged, now she knows everything, Mystique to come after Orcus. To come after Sinister.
Well, they have to get out of the White Room now, which I thought was Immortal X-Men, we're just going to pivot just a little bit.
Can't.
I know. I just like Immortal X-Men. If you're going to read it, and we can talk about it on the next episode or whatever, because I was just like, I don't know how this all
works together.
Yeah. So I'm kind of I loved the Professor X stuff with Mr. Sinister. I thought fantastic writing. Gillian was on point with that.
I agree.
But everything within the White Room, that made no sense to me.
And I just want to say, I want Rip, the artist, Juan Jose Rip, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
I have loved his art for a decade. He needs to stay on one of the X books.
I agree.
Preferably the main book. I'd love an Uncanny come out of this all. His detail work is amazing. Amazing.
Okay. So just to recap, you've been watching the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. We learned that Rich does not like Blue Beetle. We learned that
Blue Beetle.
In the olden England days, you gave birth on your hands and knees. That's interesting. We also learned that Gar can turn into a giant starfish. So
that's right. I want to say next up on the experience at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, we have Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. Their special guest is Tim Guest with his Kickstarter. And then Christy Shin and Ruben Rosas will be the artists on their sketching. You've been watching the Beardies on the experience. Be sure to join us next Thursday, 5 o'clock. We'll have a lot more opinions for you.
8 o'clock Eastern time?
Yes. No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Why can't we all just have one time? So dumb. Okay, my rant's over. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.